Hi, welcome back to another One Chart lesson. I'm Matt Toms. Today we are learning how to play The Unguarded Moment by The Church. It's a classic old song and there are actually a few good tutorials already out there on this song. So rather than go over what they've already done, I wanted to try and make this into an arrangement that you can play on one guitar and make it sound as complete and full as possible. So I've done two different versions. One is the easy version and one is a slightly more complicated version. I'll explain as we go along the differences between the two, but you can download both and start with the easy one and include stuff from the trickier one if you want to. But if you don't want to, then the easy version should be pretty good to go for more or less anyone. So let's jump into it. We'll start with that iconic riff that I played just before. It's all based around the C chord on the 3rd fret. So instead of doing an open C chord, we're going to play the 5th fret G string, 5th fret B string, and 3rd fret E string. And the riff is actually 2 guitars. So on the easy chart, I've just put one riff down. On the trickier chart, I've given you both riffs. There's really almost one note difference only. So what we're doing in the easy version is like this. And the other part that's almost the same just includes this G note, which is 3rd fret E string. You'll hear it, I'll show you where it is. It's there. So instead of going back to the 3rd fret B string, it goes over to the 3rd fret G string. Basically the only difference between those two tracks. There may be a note here and there, but the mix is such that I can't really tell what the other notes might be different. They sound almost exactly the same. So do whichever one of those riffs you like. I think the one with the high G note sounds a little bit more complete and more like the song because you can hear that in the actual recording. So they're both on your trickier chart, marked A and B, or A or B. Once you do that intro twice, we move into the main riff. Now, the main riff you can continue to play like that, but if you're on your own, it sounds a little bit empty. So what I've done, on your easy chart, we've incorporated the C chord and the riff as best we can. So it goes like this for your easy chart. Okay, the hard version I will show you at the end of this chart because it's a little bit trickier and just takes a little bit of getting used to. There's actually 2 ways you can do the hard version as well. So if you want to skip to that, there'll be a marker on the timeline below that you can actually jump straight to it. But in the meantime, you do that main riff. You do that twice, right? The first time you hit those open strings with the top 2 notes on the 3rd fret, you can do them on your own, then it gives you an extra B to complete the rest of that G chord, like it's on your tab. Then you move into the verse. Now the verse, easy version, is just strumming 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, okay? Moving through your C chord for 2 bars, your F chord for 2 bars, your C chord for 2 bars, your G chord for 2 bars. There's a little arpeggio that you'll hear when it goes to the F chord for the first time, which is on your harder chart. Now you can include that. It's an F add 9, and the shape is actually pretty easy once you get used to it. Play that arpeggio, and then see if you can leave the top strings ringing, and then go back to strumming for the 2nd bar, go back to strumming the rest of the chord on the lower notes. So it kind of just lets that ring on but keeps the rhythm going. And when you go back to the C, put your pinky on the 3rd fret E string so you get this nice, and lets you do that arpeggio, same deal, let that ring on and strum the bottom strings. Then when you go to the G, and that takes you into the next section, which is the E minor, which I call the pre-chorus. Don't make me laugh, F, they only make me feel like, and I do a bar chord for an F there, but you can do your normal F chord if that's too tricky for you, it's all good. And then we're into the chorus. Like diamond in an unguarded, to F, then to G. Then it takes you back to the main riff section, where you can, if you're doing the easy version, you can just do this. Do that once, and then you're into the next verse. If you're doing the harder version, again, at the end of this chart, I'll show you how to do a more complex version of that, because there is a bass note that the bass line takes that you hear in the song and it gets into your ear, sounds like part of the song. So there's a way of incorporating that bass note into that main riff, which I'm going to show you at the end. So after you've done that main riff, again, you come back into another verse, which is done exactly the same way, either strumming eighths all the way through the chords for the easy version, or doing your arpeggios and the F add 9 for that slightly harder version. You go through that second verse, then you go into the pre-chorus again. Don't make me laugh. Up to F, either way with the F, into another chorus. In an unguarded moment. As you go through that chorus again, you're getting ready to come into the bridge, which is a really interesting part of the song. Now, the bridge, chord-wise, it's easy. It goes A, B flat, which is, sure, not so easy, it's a bar chord, but if you know your bar chords, it's no problem. If you don't know your bar chords yet, click on the link below to my bar chords tutorial, and that should help you out a little bit. You're basically either playing for a B flat, you're playing an A-shaped chord, an A major shaped chord on the first fret, or an E major shaped chord on the 6th fret. Then it goes up to a C, or a C there, or a C there. Goes up to a C and then comes back down to the B flat, and then it repeats that whole section again. What the guitar does on top is really nice. So what we're doing up here, because we're over an A chord, we're taking our A and we're playing it up here as a D-shaped chord on the 9th fret. Okay, so just the top 3 strings. And if you want to start, because it comes in on the 1 and, then on the 1, if you're playing by yourself, you can play that open A string. You can go. And what you do first with this A chord, with this D-shaped A chord, is you put your pinky on the E string 10th fret. So it's actually an A sus4. And then you lift it off. So you go. And again. When the chord moves up to the B flat, you move up a fret as well with this shape. And you just pick through that chord. Then you slide it up, play it 3 times, come back down to the B flat, and do the whole thing again. Run through that section twice, and that's the bridge. Take a while to get around that. It's a really nice sounding section. Then you're back into the... And you play that twice this time. Another verse. We're coming into the last verse. Play it the same way, do your arpeggios if you want. chorus twice. So what we're doing with this chorus, we're playing it twice. We're doing C, 2 bars, F, we're going back to C, but this time when we go up to the F, it's 1 bar on F, up to the G. And that's where everything drops out, or the bass drops out at least, and you play a very quiet chorus. Do 2 C's and 2 F's twice. Then it builds. Repeat that again. Then we're into the last guitar solo bit where things, rock out a little. So again, we're going through the same chords now as that last chorus section that we've done, but the guitar, I'm going to show you what it does, right? So we go up to the 8th fret on the top 2 strings, the B and the E strings. Put your first finger across the 8th fret, and we're going. So what you do is you reach with your 3rd finger across, you're on the 8th fret here, you reach over to the 10th fret G string, and you bend that. You can use this finger behind it, sorry to do that to you, but this finger behind it to help push up that string. So you're going. That's it's a Chuck Berry thing really. He kind of almost invented that riff. You'll hear it in a lot of songs, so it's really a good thing to practice and get under your fingers as part of your vocabulary, because it's really kind of easy and fun to do once you learn how to do it properly. So the actual timing is like this. You go, the first beat, the first half beat is missed. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Then we move up to, your pinky takes up the 11th fret, again both strings, and goes 11, 10, 8. So you go. And the last note on that bar is the 10, but you don't have to bend it this time. Back to 2 8s, the 10 again, and this time you can grab the B string with the 3rd finger as well as the G string. So you've got 2 10s there. Come down to the 8. Back up 10, back down to the 8. So from here, slide that note on the 8th fret G string, and you're back using that one of those D-shaped chords on the 12th fret. So you slide up with the G to the 12th fret, and then you play the next 2 beats on just the top 2 strings. Then you play 2 with your pinky on the 13th fret, so a D sus4 shape. 3 with it off. Then into the next bar, and we go pinky on, pinky off, pinky on, pinky off. Then 1 more with the pinky off, 3 with the pinky on. And then we move up to this shape, which is 12 on the G, 13 on the B, and 15 on the E, and we're almost there. You do a whole bar of that, so 8 of those. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you bend that 15 twice. Up to what is the note on the 17th fret. So if you're on an acoustic guitar and bending is not possible for you, take that 15 and slide it to the 17th fret. That's kind of going to get you as close as you can get on an acoustic. One more time through that. After it comes out of the guitar solo, you're going. 4 times. then 4 times. On the 4th time, you slow right down. And finish on the C like that. And that's the whole song. So take it really slowly. Take as much of that out of the chart as you want and play your own version of it. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at the extra bits on the harder version that make that song sound even more colourful and even more complete, I hope. So we've talked about the intro riff. You've got 2 different versions, almost the same, but 2 different ones for that intro riff. Then you move into this. Now, when that happens, that's when, for the first time, that's when the bass comes in. And the bass does this line that goes, right? And that note there that they hit, the F, permeates that song and sounds like part of the guitar riff. It's so, it's all together. So what I've tried to do here is make a little arrangement of this riff only that includes that bass note, because I think it kind of makes it sound a little bit more like the song if you're on your own on the guitar. So this is how you play it, right? It's a little bit fingerstyle, but then I'm going to show you how to kind of strum it out as well after this. So bear with me. This is playing the C chord, but you're playing your thumb on the A string and your G and B strings are with these 2 fingers, 1st and 2nd fingers. And then the next thing you do is you move over, your thumb goes to the D string, and these 2 fingers take the top 2 strings, B and E strings. So you're going, right? Then what we do is we put our pinky on the D string, 3rd fret, to get that bass note that we're looking for. And we play the top 4 strings from D down to E. And we pull off that D string 3rd fret note with our pinky. We pull it off down to the 2nd fret, right? And then go straight over to the bass note with our thumb on the 3rd fret A string. And then we as soon as we hit that bass note, our pinky's on the 3rd fret E string, and we pick that with our fingers. That gives us this sort of sound. So that's a little tricky. Take your time with it. After that, come down to the open E string, play the B string 1st fret, and play the G at the same time if you can. Then move your pinky from the onto the 3rd fret B string. So you're moving up like that, and play the open E string. So. Through again, I'll do it slowly. Practice that for a while and get it flowing smoothly. It actually sounds quite good. Then, if you find that doing fingerstyle is actually putting the brakes on the sound of this song too much, strum it. You can be a little bit loose and messy with the way you strum this. As long as your fingers are hitting the right notes with your fretting hand, you can kind of pick out the melody that you want in that riff. Just by kind of strumming through it. Take your time with that and play it slowly first so you can hear that melody going through that riff. Picking it or strumming it with a pick, both ways work really well. So thanks for watching. Please let me know how you went in the comments below. I always like to hear how people are doing. Let me know which chart you like, the easier one or the hard one, whether you found strumming that melody or picking it out was easier. Always happy to hear from people. So thanks for watching again, and we'll see you here again soon for some more lessons.